Whiskey Maine is whiskey one. Shit's hit the fan, we're overrun. Sending boys in the trucks with the 50 cals. Tell every swinging dick bring extra rounds. Hang in now, boys, we're on our way. Don't send them all to heaven before we get a taste. Whoa, cry havoc, let's slip the doors of room. What you gonna do, my friend, when the devil is at your door? You run and hide, in the end you just got tired. Cause you started a party, we invited guests. Let me introduce you to the shadow of death. The shadow of death. Whiskey Maine is whiskey one. We're all secure and they're on the run. Tell them boys in the trucks with the 50 cals. The next time I see them, I'll buy the rounds. Tell the devil of Ramadi we gon' call them real soon. Next time they wanna party, bring whiskey too. Whoa, cry havoc, let's slip the nose of war. What you gonna do, my friend, when the devil is at your door? You run and hide, in the end you just die tired. Cause you started a party, we invited guests. Let me introduce you to the shadow of death. Shadow of death. Your door. You run and hide, in the end you just die tired. Cause you started a party, we invited guests. Let me introduce you to the shadow of death. Shadow of death.
What's happening, folks? Happy Monday night. The TPO Doc Talk is up next. You were just listening to Sal Gonzalez, one of the anchor members from our Stop 22 tour. Check him out at Sal Gonzalez Music. You saw the socials there. They were flying in the background. Go check him out there. Support. That's veteran artists, singer-songwriters, written music by veterans for veterans. Sal is an awesome, awesome dude. Great music. Hey, man, tonight's show, we're finally going to do that recap I talked about. We had the Veterans Day event that was rescheduled because of a historic snowstorm. We got it off this last weekend, had an amazing, amazing time down there. Mission accomplished. We're going to cover a lot. We got a bunch of pictures and video to share of that. We got some of the TPO team members, these amazing, awesome human beings, are stopping by, chatting with us. And of course, my man Jimmy Straw is in here to co-host with me here again. And we're gonna go through that, and then we'll talk some fishing, man. So stick with us and let's get her fired up. Happy Monday night. all folks out there, anybody from the Heroes Media Group joining us out here. We appreciate you guys in a major, major way. We'll have this officially swapped completely over by the end of November here. Mr. Straws, how the heck are you, sir?
Doing good. I'm tired today, though. Just
So
tired.
tired? Long work day?
Yeah. Yeah, up and down the ladder a lot. So doing some crown molding around the kitchen cabinets, and it was quite the journey.
Well, that's a lot further for a guy of your height and stature, you know. I mean, that's a lot of
Yeah,
climbing you got to do there, brother.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I just got home from work and I'm like, man, podcast time. Throw stuff on the table, jump in the shower. Here I am. Let's
That's
go. It's
awesome.
gonna be a good show tonight. It's gonna be good.
Dude, we appreciate you so much for coming on here and actually making it entertaining because, you know, my bland ass can only be put up with for so long. We need to bring, you know, other people. And speaking of other people, we're going to bring these guys into the show here in just a couple minutes. We've got some of the TPO team members themselves that are here. We got none other than the man of the hour, man of the month, Mr. Stony Floyd. He's joining us in here. And of course,
Yeah.
anchor
Champ.
member and hella hook no matter where the hell you put him, whether it's Colorado, Texas, doesn't matter. Mr. Matt Flanagan, he's in the green room as well. So we got the CKB brass on hand, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
I'm already looking forward to 2025. It's not gonna come soon enough.
Right, dude, I am so stoked. I was telling Jason something today. I'm all about, you know, being real, right, and living in my own skin. And these past 2 years, maybe just a hair longer, my tournament results have just been complete and utter horse dump. Okay, it just has for where I feel I should be and where I know I can be. It's been garbage, right? And I've had some really rough outings there where I got spun out a lot and mentally not in it, not preparing properly. You know, just a mess of things. I
Yep.
told Jason today, dude, I want to let you know something. I got a fire burning right now inside that I haven't felt in a long, long time. Dude, I'm ready. I mean, I'm already on map study. I'm already pinging people up for a couple of these bodies of water to start gathering information. It's freaking on, man. I'm ready to go this year. And this team thing is a motivator because I don't want to let my teammate down, right? I don't.
Right.
Now
Right.
it's not just about me. I
Yep.
don't give 3 squirts of monkey poop what, you know, people want to say. I know what I've done, where I've been, where, you know, what
Right.
I'm capable of. So I don't really worry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
But I do worry about my homie, man, my, you know, love pool. I got to watch out for him, right? Wolverine can't let him down. You know what I'm saying?
You're not going to let that go, are you? You're going to run that till that's the name. You're just going to run it.
Dude, I got to tell you. So I ran it by him and I could tell he was like, but he wanted something else. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Well, then his wife saw it. She loves it. So he's like, we may have to go there because I think my wife loves that name.
Oh, yep.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. You got
If
to
I
listen
could,
to the wife, man. You got to, or
right?
it's just none of this is going to happen.
That's right. That's right. Well, before we start the recap and getting into some of these other topics here that I wanted to chat with, let's go ahead and bring the boys in here. Let's go ahead and get these guys. Mr. Flanagan, welcome back to the show, brother.
What's up, boys? Good to see you.
So,
You
Matt,
as well.
What's happening?
And no stranger to the podcast himself, Mr. Stony Floyd. How are you living, man?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Living much better after that $10,000 check. 16,000. What am I saying? 16,000.
It didn't hurt.
Yep.
If the IRS is watching, it's 10,000.
It was 10,000. That's right.
Half of it went straight to savings because I know what's coming. So
Right. I hear that. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you guys cutting time out of your schedule to join us on the show, man, and talk fishing and talk some other stuff. Before we get too deep into the fishing, I did had a couple topics here, that I wanted to cover here real quick. One is actually, and I'm going to do a bigger podcast on this. I'm going to bring in a couple guys to this, but this happened this last week, and it just stuck in my head, and I can't get it free. And so I want to say this because it really bothers the hell out of me. I'm not I still love these guys, completely, and I'm still going to do whatever I can because I do believe in the what Jimmy Burgess constantly reminds me of, and Brian Romans has taught me this from day one, which is one team, one mission, right? We're in this thing not for personal gain, not for personal this or that's, and not for just a single entity. It's a mission that we're on here to carry this thing forward. And that's why it takes a village to carry it out, right? To do what we do, because no one person's going to get that job done. There's a sentiment running around, and not many have this, but I have run into a couple now in the nonprofit world that literally, I'm almost going to quote it. We don't need any more nonprofits. There's limited amount of money running around out there. And this was from somebody that I've known for a couple years that I saw. And dude, I got to tell you, the more and more I thought about that, the more it aggravated me inside and it made me sad. And it's like, hold on, man. That goes completely against everything I've been taught coming into this by some really, really important human beings in my life that have put their life and families on the line for us. Their view is the polar opposite of that. I love collaborating with as many nonprofits as we can. If somebody else wants to start a nonprofit that does kayak fishing in the state of Colorado, I will be the first at their doorstep to help them and show them all the dumb shit I did so they don't do it. And then give them the boost of whatever they need and help them on any level. Because, dude, just on pure logistics alone, Northern Colorado is home to some 45, 50,000 vets live up there. We take out 2, 3, 4 people at a time. Come on, dog. I mean, and we're the only show in the state, right, that's doing this right now. So the more we can get, damn straight, I want to be supportive. Now, does that mean it's going to make it tricky with some fundraising in some areas? Sure is. Yeah. But it's part of the game, man. We got to get creative. We got to figure it out, but I heard that. And it, like I said, it goes against everything that I believe in about this, that, dude, look at last weekend, what we just put together. You can start going down the laundry list of the people that made this possible. Stoney, your generosity. Jason Lovell, his generosity. They couldn't be there, but they found ways that they really helped us get stuff done. Flanagan, you gave up your entire weekend, to come down there and donate your time and energy to this thing. Matt Collins did the same thing. You guys have families at home that also made that sacrifice as well with this. Nick Wetherill, he came down. Calvin was out there. Calvin is a lone wolf that trolls around for Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, but he was out there going to town and looking for some critters. Just so many people and so many organizations that all came together just to make one little weekend happen. I'm not sure what your dog is doing in the background, bro, but
don't ask.
Does he really like, he really likes
stairs, and he won't go up it unless you give him a little kick in the ass, and then
he's trying to climb the stairs.
Those are stairs. Yeah. And he acts like he can't, but he can.
I thought he just really liked that pillow.
No, he wants me to lift him up, and I'm not gonna, because he can get up the stairs.
Wow, he's kind of milking it, huh?
Yeah, he'll do that for probably the entire podcast.
Let's go, fat body, up the stairs. Let's go.
I mean, he's an old guy. He's like 16, I think, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's older than Jim.
He's an old guy for sure. He can get up the stairs, though.
Nice.
Versus me, I can barely get up the stairs.
Those stairs are actually for when Straws comes over and needs to get up on the couch.
So I can get up on the couches, I need a ladder.
Ouch. But yeah, so I know it's kind of odd because I'm talking about nonprofit stuff, but just curiosity, your guys' opinion. I mean, from not really. I mean, you guys are inside the mix of this, so you see this. Am I alone in that? That feeling of, man, this just breaks from what makes the most logical, common, right sense to me.
And the more eyes you get on any subject, no matter what it is, or any fundraiser or anything, the more people hear about it, the more people are involved, the more we're going to help, the more people are going to get help. That's just common sense. And to be upset that the fundage is going to be split up against, if you take 10 more companies or 10 more nonprofits and it gets split up with them, how much did that really cost your nonprofit? If there's a certain budget set up for the state or the federal or whatever, it didn't cost you nothing. I mean, it would have to be hundreds more to really make a dent, in my opinion, because am I wrong in how the state sets up the budgets, or the federal government sets up the budget? So to say that, oh my God, there's 2 more kayak people in the whole state of Colorado is really going to hurt us. That ain't going to affect you.
Nope.
And in my opinion, that's just a selfish attitude.
I got to tell you, you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this? What's your priority? Is it money? Is it, to fund your business, or is it to accomplish the mission? Now, right. I mean, the TPO needs funding. I need to go find funding. I need to get better at fundraising and figuring out where to get it. That's all there is. Having for the love of Pete, I work for Heroes on the Water. I mean, they're like the largest in the nation, I think, that provides kayak fishing for people. And they are all about one mission, one team, man. They were completely down. They were like, glad to hear that you feel that way. And yes, we have no problem working with you. And they made this weekend happen as well. They told me if I needed kayaks or I needed to borrow fishing gear or paddles or PFDs, they said, you got the trailer there, brother. Use them. Use what you need to put on a great event, And I'm like, bro, if that's one of the nation's largest that can operate that way, that's working together. That's, I don't know. I think it has everything to do with what your priority is, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, another thing too is did that person say that to you because they're upset that, oh God, another nonprofit, just another person looking for a tax way to hide money, right? What you're doing is totally not that, and it has nothing to do with that. And once you get your wheels spinning, people are going to wish they were part of it or on board or going, doing what you're doing and making the moves you're doing. So keep pushing forward, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're in the infant stages of the TPO and everything you've got going. You got more years. You got to get stuff underneath you. It will take off, and then those people are going to be wondering why they even said that.
Well, and the funny thing, he wasn't actually talking about me, but
in general, right?
He was, though. I'll tell you this: I picked up on this sentiment of his because I was working with that organization in the very beginning. And brother, you want to talk about a one-way street? Again, I'm not attacking the character of these folks because I love them to death. I think they're great people, and I love what they operate and what they do. But I could tell from the very get-go this was going to be a one-way street, because even trying to get just a name drop on a social media channel was like pulling teeth. And I'm like, bro, I've brought my boat in here. I set up a table. I turned away donations and told people to please, tonight is for this event, so donate to those folks there. I'm simply here showing about another alternative to, ways that we can service. Invited them up to some big events where they actually come out with a couple $1,000s because of us. But that's what we should have done, right? That's the way I figured that, hey man, we're here to take care of each other. And I picked up on that it wasn't going to come back the other way. So I'll be honest, I kind of just backed off. I'm like, I have limited energy on where I can spend it. I got to make sure that where I'm spending it is in the right areas, but I still wish them happy birthdays, and like their post and chat with them, Matter of fact, I brought stuff to them that we couldn't use from last week. That's how I had this conversation. I had some food that was going to go bad. So I called them up and said, hey, could you guys use this? They were like, wow, yeah, sure. I'm like, cool. We'll give it to your folks and let your volunteers or whoever, use it and such. Just because I think that's what we're supposed to do. Right. But Again, I think it's a philosophical thing, maybe. I don't know. Priority. Whatever. I digress. We'll bounce off of that bad boy. Did you guys happen to see? I'm trying to find it right now. And I thought I saved it, but like a moron, I did not save it. There was a video out there of a young man in his kayak that got in a storm, and he said it about went really, really bad.
Just recent?
Hao Zhang?
Yes.
Hao Zhang?
Yes.
PX Angling? Yeah.
Was that what it is? PX?
I do believe on YouTube, PX Angling. Think. I might be getting them confused with Chen, CX Angling.
I see CX Angling. I've got
no,
him
but there's a
over.
PX. He's
YouTube.
Hao Zhang, I think. I don't doubt. You know what? I watched that, and that I wanted to help him so bad sitting in my house. I'm like, man, I honestly feel really bad for this kid because, as Flanagan said, I need the ladder to get up on the couch. He's even smaller than me. So when that kayak filled with water on him and he couldn't pull it up on the shore to get it off those waves and it was just taking it, I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I made a comment on his YouTube like, man, my heart felt for you, honestly, in that situation. But he handled it like a trooper. This is what you're talking about, right? The guy that
it is. And I'm going
to flipped and got flooded.
I'm going to share it real quick here. I'm going to stop that one share, and I'm going to share this one. And let's go to window. Yep. All right, so let's add this up here.
Matt or Stoney, did you see this video at all?
I haven't seen
it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
you're going to run it?
Yeah, I'm running it right now.
Yeah.
So the weather starts getting bad. I think I want to say he's in a Hobie is what it looks like. And I'm going to tell you something here. Watch that nose. All this that he's doing right now, he's taking on water.
Yep.
He has taken on so much water in his hull. And that wind is kicking those waves up. And now it's at this stage here, he should have been on shore, in my opinion. Get the hell to shore. Because, dude, you got water in the hull. You should not be trying to navigate that thing out at that point.
Yeah.
Because that is just too big of a craft.
Watch his right side. Watch his right side when he makes this turn up here. That's his demise when he takes that left-hand turn.
He already tried to get tossed one way. Right there.
Right there.
Oh, man.
That's filling him up. He's done. He's not going to be able to maneuver that kayak. He's done.
And I got to tell you, watching this video, I have been in worse water than that. And I am so thankful for my new Canoe Unlimited, man, and our drainage, because we don't have a hull that can fill up like that, and create that situation unless the hull is compromised and cracked.
If that's full of water, there's no way he can pull that on the bank.
No, this poor kid, he's in
weighs too much.
He's in big time trouble trying to get, and those waves are just going to wear him out from this point on.
Jeez, he had his motor down too, man. That's
yeah.
And I don't know how long you're going to let it run, Gene, but at some point he decides he's going to pull the battery out to make it lighter. So if you notice, here he goes. He's got the battery box and the motor on the nose of I do believe he runs a 12-footer. That's what Matt Collins was complaining about when he had his bow mount on a 12-footer. He was spearing waves. He was getting water in the hull.
To be honest, the kid's lucky he didn't get a broke ankle from that, man, because those waves are slapping that boat with the water in it, man. And now he's getting that pump going.
I just feel bad for him with the rock right there smashing up against his stuff. He's all by himself. He has no help.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm glad he was safe and got to shore for sure. I personally, just because I'm hypersensitive to safety stuff, I personally would have liked to seen him beach it way earlier than that, right? Because the moment that first piece there, when he started to go, and she tried to list to one side and he jumped over, that was the sign to me. It's like, dude, you've lost control of that craft at that point. Get to the shore immediately. Just turn it right in. pop the motor up and let yourself, roll up there. Yeah, he's not a big dude. He probably weighs about a buck 30 soaking wet right now. And he's trying to hold a craft that weighs, it'd be like
There's
Chen.
that battery.
Be like Chen trying to muscle one of these things. The boat weighs more than him, right?
Yeah. The boat weighs him more than him without water in it. I mean, just the hull.
Marty Hughes watching us. Yep, saw that one a few days ago. Appreciate you tuning in, brother Marty. Thank you so very much.
What's up, Marty? Got to talk to Marty out at Lake of the Ozarks. It's a good time.
Yeah. And then, of course, our brother from another mother, Mr. Jason Lovell, ready for a great show. You driving down the road, Lovell? Is that what you're doing? Because I was thinking our team name should be Hauling Bass, right? I mean, you're a truck driver. That should be actually our name, right? And then, of course, our brother out in Missouri here. Got to know when to say when. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. He did a good job, though. I mean, he's safe. He gets his gear out. He's going to wait it out. Smart move, taking some weight down.
Yeah, that's rough. Man.
It's better to get back late than not get back, right?
Makes me want to go get one of those.
I don't know how many of you guys have that pump in your kayak, but I have one on order from Amazon, and I am getting one in my kayak.
Yep, so I have one. Well, I've had one for a couple of years because I have a native, so you kind of have to. But.
Yeah, I used to carry it and then realized I didn't need to.
Yeah.
So we don't have that in-hull, worry. If I got water in my hull, that means I've cracked the hull. Something, and I've got bigger issues than
I don't get it inside the hull, but inside the cockpit or whatever we call it. I don't actually get any water inside. I never get water inside the hull. It's just at my feet.
He had water in his hull. There's no question. The way that boat was moving, he had taken water over that bow and it got down in the hull. That's why he couldn't manage the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still listed to one side. You can see he's still got water in that thing that he hasn't gotten out. But
1 hour after I landed, 4:40.
Yeah, that's a rough ride.
But, yeah, man, I saw that, and it's just anytime those things pop up, it's always a solid reminder for all of us. Last couple of years when a couple of our very experienced anglers had problems and came out of their boats. That was just a reminder to me that, it can happen to freaking anybody, man. Don't ever think it's not going to happen to you. Do what you got to do and prepare, and always keep that head on a swivel. Always watching what you're doing because it doesn't take long. We had, I bet you. What do we have here? Eric Ali saying that he is watching from his second office. I would venture to bean he's in the can right now, and he's watching the show.
Immediately where my head went when I saw that comment. Yeah,
that's right. Brother Matt Kern showing up here. Yep, I bet Mr. Kern had a spill last year with his. That was quite the ordeal for sure. And then Marty here got back in the day. Christine Fisher and I fished catfish tournaments on Milford Lake in Kansas. Winds are 45 plus out of the south. She's in Jackson Cooter, and I was on a Jackson Kilroy. We kept our noses in the wind, caught one big one, had a few others on, but the wind was difficult. Ended getting the boat full of water once. I got back to the shore afterwards. Yes, we're nuts. Well, the fact that you can, you're still here to tell the story, brother Marty. That's the main thing, right? I mean, that's what we're looking for.
I got a great story about Marty.
Yeah.
So Saturday we're at the K-State game. We're tailgating. We got our tailgate set up, and some friends bought some friends of theirs from Nebraska, and it was a gal and her young son, and one of the guys that tailgates with us has season tickets. His daughter's on the team as well. Introduced me to them, and when he introduced me to the little boy, he said. He told him how I won the tournament and how I fish. And so mom says, just like Mr. Marty. And I said, what do you mean, Mr. Marty? I said, where are you guys from? She said, Nebraska. And I said, Marty Hughes? She goes, oh my God, do you know him? I'm like, he's one of the greatest people on the planet. She goes, I agree so much. And the little boy was like, he's so great. And
that is awesome. And that is a proper description Flanagan, your dog again. I can't.
Watch it. Watch.
Oh.
Well,
He's like, don't kick me, Dad. Don't kick me.
Usually it just takes a little nudge and he'll walk right up.
Right on up.
Nudge him and he'll go right up.
But it's live on the air, so he's like, I'm going to make this guy look like a joker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, here he goes again.
Yeah, and now I'm going to go back and make him feel bad for an old dog who can't get up. Whoa, hey, unwanted touch. Unwanted touch.
Bad touch.
Bad touch. Show me on the doll.
Yeah, show me on the doll.
That's actually my wife's dog. I inherited that one with the marriage, so me and him are sometimes on rocky terms. He usually likes me, but then he'll also try to bite me every once in a while. So,
well, if you come up and tried to help me like that, I might bite you too.
You giggle and run up the stairs.
You're right. You're right.
Do it again.
So,
do it again.
Our guess is on Eric where he's at. Faux show. Yeah, I think we hit it tail on the head there. So yeah, man. So that was like I said, just noticed that video. I caught my attention on it. Dude did a great job of getting himself, keeping himself safe. He was there to tell the story. That's the main thing. That's the most important. Me personally, like I said, I'm super sensitive to that mess. Ever since the dive rescue days, I just don't play around. I've seen the bad ends. So if you were one of my kids, I was like the worst dad to go boating with, because it's like, you put that PFD on. I'm holding the keys. You better have a PFD on right now.
Well, I think his demise, what do you guys think? I think his demise was he had too much nose weight. With battery in front and motor in front and then those waves, he needed to distribute that weight, maybe get that battery in the back a little more and get that thing balanced. And if not, try to get all your weight in the back from, as you know, Gene, as a boating world, when I'm in rough seas, I'm going to trim up and then hit the throttle, and then I'm going to nose through those waves. So, yeah, it can get scary. Just as our championship a couple weeks ago for CKB, I had a situation in practice on Friday. Man, Trev crossed over, and I was getting wind from the backside, and it was a back and an angle, and it took me a while. That was the worst I've ever. That's the most nervous I've ever been. I thought I was going to dump over twice, and I don't have a bow mount. I've got the rear, with the NK. So I tried to do what I had to do to try it, but it was just, you get that too much rocking and you can't control the boat, and then it dips on you, and that's when you tip. Yeah, that's when it gets ugly.
Couple years ago,
last year was like that. It was ugly.
Couple years ago, All-American, we went to Bull Shoals, and one of the practice days, the wind got really, really rough, and I had come out of this big finger that I'd launched down in, which I could have stayed down there, but I went out around onto the main lake point to get in the other one, because there wasn't a launch in that one. So I wanted to go just see what was over there. And on the way back, the winds picked up, and I literally had minimum three, some 4-footers coming in, hit me. And so I'm sitting here in the new canoe. And so, like you said, Jim, the old boat days came back to me. I took my seat. Our seats are adjustable as far as where they drop. So I loosened up 4 bolts, slid that seat way back so I could get that bow up. And at that time I was running my NK-180. So it was just, had power back there and just nice and easy, worked on the power and just kept working the throttle back and forth to keep my nose up, and worked my way back around that point, taking the waves from the side. But yeah, it's a little tricky when it comes to that stuff, but if you know how to get through it, it's a little bit easier. Well, let's go ahead and recap this weekend, man. What an amazing weekend. Yeah. What we got?
Real quick before we get into the recap, I just had probably a really stupid thought. I'm going to regret suggesting this since I'm currently on the team that's favored to win it. Clearly Collins and I are the favorite to win it. I think we can all agree on that, right?
No.
But anyway, Elwood's only about a little over 5 hours from Kansas City. I don't know where Marty's Omaha, I think.
Yeah.
Then we got Norton, Kansas. Stoney and Marty, why don't you guys hop into our team series there?
Oh boy.
We got Marty in there. We got Stoney. guys form a team. Come on, you can make. You only need 3 to for the point. So
And
you
is
guys-
That's only
Elwood
2.
Elwood's 2, right?
Elwood's 2,
Yep.
and Norton, Kansas.
And then Norton, Kansas, right?
Yeah. Like I
And
said,
even
Yeah.
McConaughey,
probably
depending on how
not
far they
suggest
want
those
to.
2 team up, but
Marty's on the Marty's on the green side of Nebraska,
okay.
not the brown side.
Green side.
Yeah.
Up for it. I'm up for it. We have to
That would
look
be
at
a scary
schedules,
team.
but
We got some scary teams already, but that would be a scary team too.
it has some fun.
Yeah, it would. That'd be awesome stuff. You know, the team thing, like I said, there's so many different cool things that come with that. And like I said, for me personally, the thing I love about it, what it's done is it's motivated me, man. It's whatever it takes, whatever motivation you need, wherever you get it from, it's like faith. Whatever you have faith in, it's a powerful thing if you truly have faith in it, right? Whether it's your religion or whether it's humanity or whether it's whatever, faith is a powerful thing, dude. And in this case, the motivation factor is like, okay, I'm not fishing anything on the national side of things. I'm focusing all local. And you guys have taken enough of my money, by God. I'm ready to take some of it back. So,
Yeah, come and get some.
that's right.
I
And
think it's going to be awesome.
I knew it was awesome because I should be sitting here getting a little bit, the normal guy gets a little nervous when you look at Strawbridge and Stuckey. Oh my God. Great. Collins and Flanagan. Wow. Dwong and Roth. Good Lord. You start going down the list of these teams and I'm like, and all I kept thinking was good. Yeah. Because when we whoop them, it's going to be even better.
Boy, this is the most. I'll be straight up. This is the most shit talking I've heard from the CKB in a long time with this team series.
But it's in such good manner, It's like it's such an honor to fish against these guys, and to beat them is even better. Yeah,
I mean,
would be
I think
awesome.
with all this trash talking, I think the person who comes in last has to come on the podcast, and we just get to destroy him.
So Ali
Get
thinks,
to talk first,
right?
Like, the last
Exactly.
team comes on, and we're just going to bombard you and just hammer you.
Yep.
So Ali just equated your Stoney and Marty, invites like, Jesus, fam, why don't you just send KVD and Zone an invite while you're at it?
I told you, Collins and I need a challenge, and we're just not seeing it from the roster yet. So I figured we should bring in some outside talent.
I am not following your advice, Eric. I don't care how much I want to win. It's not going to happen. Eric says, don't look past the Ali's. Partners that do it are happier on game day.
Oh, geez.
God.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait. It's going to be good stuff. We're going to get there for sure. And speaking of good times, yes. So the reschedule, we did lose about 5 participants that we lost out on the reschedule and at the last minute there, and that hurt. But I will tell you this: the 3 that showed up, and I'm going to let you in on a secret. The team doesn't know this. The TPO team; these guys don't know this. But these events that are like this, in my mind, are just as much for them as anybody else who comes and joins, because their chance to get away and just be out and be amongst, get that camaraderie going, man, and just be amongst people, their people, and enjoy themselves. It is so important to me that we create that kind of environment in some fashion or form. So the way I look at it, we had a lot more than 3, but we had 3 guests joining us. These ladies were beast, dog. They put up with some wind and a little bit of chilly temperature, and I gave them an out right around noon. I went up to Mom and I said, "Hey, Mom, it's noon. We can head back. I don't have a problem with that. We can go back to camp. I got hot cocoa. I'll get you guys some lunch burnout. We'll do whatever, And she says, "Well, no, I'm good. If you guys want to stay out." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course we want to stay out." I was like, "You think your girls are okay?" And she goes, "Oh yeah. Yeah, they're having a blast." I'm like, rock on. And bless these girls' hearts. They had hoodies and jeans on. And I'm just thinking, oh, please don't get wet. Please don't get wet out there. But dude, I got to tell you, Flanagan, Collins, and Nick Wetherill took these folks under their wing and took them around Pueblo Res there, helping them with from the fishing pole to the navigation, put them on their side of their kayaks and was moving them around to get them on fish and just make sure they had a safe, fun day. And I sit back at this thing and I told Santa Claus, because I had Santa Claus tied to the back of my kayak. And I told him, I want to say the words that I don't deserve these guys, but in the same note, that's so misspoken because it's not me. You know what I mean? But I feel so damn grateful to be surrounded by the people that have said, yes, I'll help you out. Stoney, Matt, all the people on the TPO team. You guys are incredible human beings. I freaking love you guys. And it's because of you guys that we can do events like this, man, and keep this going. Now it's up to me again. There's my motivator to get over my trip ups or whatever I have and figure out how you do nonprofit fundraising for the love of God. Especially in this state. I'd love to do a raffle, but you have to be an operating business in the state of Colorado as a nonprofit for 5 years before you're allowed to even run an online raffle, which blows me away.
I know a lot of the bass clubs around here do hot dog or bratwurst, and they do drives, and they go to local sporting goods stores. I'm not going to mention names, and they get permission to sit outside their store on a weekend and sell hot dogs and sell brats for $2, $3 a piece, and you make profit off of that. You can get the food donated to you, and you can just have a little food drive, and we could all show up and help and chop onions and get the preps out there and get all that stuff, whatever it needs, whatever it takes. I mean, I know that worked really well for a couple of the bass clubs. It makes them a couple $100 a day especially on a weekend if you can get both days out there.
See, it's things like that. I need that creative input like that. I need to put out a feeler email or maybe just an invite for we do a meeting or something where I can get these ideas like this. The whole can't see the forest despite the trees, or maybe it's the other way around. Trees despite the forest. That's really what it is. I'm right in the center of so much that I miss these common sense things like that out there because I'm just trying to put too many freaking hats on at once. And I'm realizing that, so trying to get those ideas, that is a great idea. Sell some beaks and feet for charity, baby. Heck yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I'll send one to Kansas City, Stoney. You down?
Bring it.
You gonna mail him a hot dog?
Yeah. I'll seal it up though.
I'll bring it out. I miss the Ozarks already. I'm ready to go back. I know he's not technically in the Ozarks, but he's a lot closer than we are.
Right.
I think Eric's on it.
Yep.
I think some sort of flyer that you put together and just hit mom and pop joints, because those are the people that are most likely going to listen to you and care about the community and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
The big corporations they've got budgets set up and they're going to donate to the big companies and the big nonprofits and the big stuff because they want to write one check and be done with it. They don't want to mess with it.
I don't need multiple. Just one big check would do it, man. Yeah. And we would be rolling on down the road, kayak fishing every damn weekend. We'll have everybody out there.
Yeah. I think you hit up the individual stores or if they have one or two, spread around Denver or something like that, those are the places that the coffee shops. I mean, for Christ's sakes, those places are printing money. You go to get a cup of coffee at 11 o'clock in the morning, and there's a line around the building. It's insane.
Right. That's true. Very true. And it's one of the things that we were talking about on this with the whole, trying to network and get out there. Collins made mention of something. He said, man, I got to tell you, I have a real respect for what you do, taking people around out here on the, helping them fish and such. He goes, because, dude, you can't really fish for yourself, can you? And I'm like, no. When you go do something like this, I flip over to work mode. I'm here first and foremost. I want to make sure they're safe, make sure that, that they're navigating okay. And I always try to warn, don't grab for that. If something falls out of the boat, it's like, leave it. I'll get it. I don't want to see somebody reach for something and whee. But it truly
you want
is
to be successful. You want them to catch a fish. I mean, that's the excitement of the whole day.
And so you yourself, unfortunately, no, you're probably not going to be. The only reason I'm fishing half the time is I'm just testing some things out to see if I can find a bite that's worth putting them on real quick. Like I did that with Santa. I started throwing a crankbait, caught that walleye, and I was like, okay, one more fish, and I'm going to put Santa on a crankbait here. We'll see if he can keep 6 hooks out of his hat, and we'll see what happens there. And I never got another bite off of it other than just the weeds that I was in. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to risk that, type deal. But that's pretty much all you're trying to do is just see what you can, get them on for sure. So,
and speaking of weed, you guys kind of have an in out there, don't you? I mean, don't we want to go where the money is?
It's legal in your state too, isn't it?
No, sir.
No way.
Not in Kansas?
No, sir.
Oh, Missouri it is.
Yeah. That's where the money is.
Over in Missouri?
Yeah, just chase the smoke. No, in Colorado.
Oh, Colorado. There is a lot of money out here. Douglas County actually is listed as one of the most wealthiest counties in America, if not the most wealthiest county.
Is that where that fancy mall is?
I don't know. I was just in Douglas County a couple weeks ago, and I didn't leave with a check or anything. So I don't know if it's real or not.
Let's combine Stoney's idea with my idea, and we'll set up a hot dog stand outside the dispensaries. Like, how perfect is that? Like,
they got
you don't sell food there, man, then something's definitely wrong,
right?
Yeah,
bags of Cheetos and Doritos sitting out there.
Yeah, crunch, 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 crunch.
And Eric Ali is doubling down. Weed company. That's a great idea. Heck yeah, for sure. Well, let me share a couple pictures here from the weekend. It was awesome stuff here. Let's see if we can full size this bad boy. There we go. A little round of campfire with Santa. We got a Flanagan at Collins and Bart, our new buddy Bart. He's been with the CKFC website for quite some time there, and he jumped out there with us. He's a United States Navy veteran. Awesome dude. Provided all kinds of cool sweets. He and his family were staying right across the way from us there, and he was out kayaking with us and fishing away for the whole weekend. Down on the beach, we had our fleet lining up, man, and
nice.
We brought the big elf with us too. So we were thinking, shoot, we're a shoe-in. He had to have a red kayak, and that's the Heroes on the Water kayak right there. Thanks to Heroes on the Water Denver VA Therapeutic Division. We thank you guys. Santa appreciates you, because that's what I don't own a red new canoe right now. That camera, this was nearly pitch black, and that camera on that Samsung Ultra, I got to tell you, is pretty darn awesome, because it looks. I think there's a UFO up in the top corner up here too. Streaking across the sky there. I'm not saying it's aliens, but this is freaking aliens, dog. It was cold. It was pretty cold out there. You see everybody's bundled up around the fire.
It was a little nipply for sure.
I wanted to show this off here. This is the U.S. Navy veteran couple, husband and wife, Josh and Josie. We love you guys. Thank you so much for getting that camper to us. We rented it through RV Share. And Josh, when he found out what it was for, he delivered and picked up that trailer for us for no cost. Amazing stuff, because usually that comes with a cost for them. He brought it from the Springs all the way down to Pueblo, set it up. That thing is decked out. Amazing heater on it. Oh, there was Jumanji was in there, man. I wouldn't let the guys play because I didn't want to scrap the park, right? But nevertheless, they had so many cool things in that super comfy camper, and they're on RV Share and a few other sites. They did awesome. Josh, Josie, we're looking forward to working with you guys more in the future. We even signed their book, Santa and the TPO. We signed their little guest book there to make sure. Santa got a picture of me not catching fish right there, I think. It was tough fishing. I mean, short of Flanagan, of course, doing his jackhammer mess as usual. But Collins struggled. Wetherill struggled. I mean, Collins caught a bunch of little guys, trout mainly. That was my Walter. He was a good sized Walter. He was trying to bite me there, and Santa was taking forever on the camera. This was right now. What you're seeing there is I was hauling two. I had Santa and then a mom. behind that tethered off to Santa. So we had a dual love all you'd have been proud of me. I had 2 trailers behind me as I was hauling down the lake there. That old Unlimited with that motor guide was chugging along. Oh, there we go. Yep, Santa getting some more shots for us here as we were rigging up. Collins and his pimp trailer, of course, as we were getting everybody all set up. Collins' setup was pretty awesome. In that's his tent right there. That's what Collins slept in. And in there is an electric blanket that like kept him at about 350 degrees, inside that thing. It was amazing. And
it was covered in frost every morning when he woke up too. But
yeah.
He was nice and toasty in there.
Hey, Gene, how do you know how warm it was in there?
I stuck my hand in there.
In where?
He invited me to, though. Okay, so it wasn't like shoving the dog up a flight of stairs or anything.
Yeah.
It was
A naked truck. That truck is like, whose truck is that?
right. It looks like a naked mole rat, doesn't it? Without the wrap on it. This was camp we had set up there. A little bit of fire going there. This was Izzy. She was out there, and that was her fish. She hooked into a fish. That's Mr. Nick Wetherill there. He was her guide for the day. She's rocking the U10 from New Canoe. That was awesome. She
Nice.
had a blast out there.
Looks like a trout. I was a trout, huh?
Yep. And there's Nick and Izzy again. He had her, and that's Collins and Chloe. That's right. Collins had Chloe. And he was taking her around. There we were getting the fish out. It was pretty good because when she went to put it back, boy, it went airborne. I mean, the conservationist fly fishermen, trout lovers would have just been losing their brain right about then. Yeah. I was laughing considerably and very loud. I thought it was fantastic.
It flopped into the bottom of her boat and she couldn't grab it, so she just kind of scoop tossed it.
Yep. Get that thing out of there.
Probably died on the way in. Those things are so fragile. You sneeze on them and they croak.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, man, that was it was some awesome stuff. Flanagan got some great video coverage there. We'll put together some of that stuff and put out some reels and such like that. Like he was saying before, we'll try to do some mini stuff here and there. But yeah, it was chilly, but it was still an amazing. The better weather showed up on Sunday, but the fishing got even harder, I think, on Sunday for everybody but Matt Flanagan, of course. But not everybody can be Matt Flanagan. So,
you guys launch from the south? Look like you were at the South Marina.
Yeah.
The South.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys fish a lot of blades out there?
Deeper into the winter, I'll start break. I actually, me and Collins were joking about that. I told myself before this trip, I am not throwing a blade bait yet. I refuse to throw a blade bait this early. But as we get into the winter, and we start fishing deeper, I'll bust out the blade bait. But they were actually still very shallow. I was catching all mine right on the bank. Surprise, surprise. Flanagan fishing the bank. What do you know? But yeah, they were all pretty shallow.
And there's my man Bart. Yes, of course, a jackhammer. What else would he be throwing up on this shore? I think that's all he has. He probably has like six tackle boxes all in the back there, all with jackhammers of different sizes and colors.
Hey, on Sunday it wasn't working. I actually switched to a jerkbait, and jerkbait caught all. I had a five species day on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
including a monster carp that actually bit the jerkbait. It wasn't foul hooked. It bit the jerkbait.
God. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was so pissed. I hate those things. Disgusting.
And yes, Bart, pass on our many thanks to the Cooking Ninja for all the sweets that she provided for everybody this weekend. We were I know everybody was partaking in there. And Bart, you're going to be proud of me, brother, because I turned down all the sweets, and guess what that scale told me today, boys? I'm going to check it Friday to make sure it's skookum. but we're out of the 230s. We are 229 and still dropping, baby.
Oh yeah.
Ah, yes.
Good for you.
Good thing I didn't have that Captain Crunch bar and them Rice Krispie treats that he brought up there. I was like, nope, I can't do them, dog. Thank you, though.
I had them for you. I think I had a cupcake, 2 brownies, and a Captain Crunch ball.
Right? And
Yeah.
like you picked up your fishing rod and burnt the calories on it, you know? So you got your metabolism trained to handle that stuff. I'm still trying to get to that stage. Once I get down to where I need to be, then I'll be able to have a little bit more freedom. But right now I'm just so excited and that we're no longer in the 250. Dude, I could get my hands in my bibs. There was room in my bibs, dog. Oh, that was so nice. I'm like, look at that. I'm like a skinny mini, baby. We're getting there. And yes, Jason, that trailer is smoking. That's from FX Trailers out of Texas. They build a really, really solid trailer, and they did a hell of a job for Collins on that thing for sure.
Yeah, that thing is awesome.
And Bart, you lost 2 pounds on your cheat weekend? Hell yeah, you did. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Not just, like you said, the fishing was just so, but just sitting around the campfire both nights, just talking fishing. Well, shockingly, it was awesome. It was a great trip, and like you mentioned,
when I had intentions on going down. I talked to Matt on Thursday, and I was taking Friday off of work, and then all hell broke loose at work, and I had to put a bunch of fires out, and it kind of ruined my whole day and ruined everything for me. And I was like, I'm just not going to go all the way down. I had to be back, and it was just I'm bummed that I missed it because I knew you guys were going to have a good time. I wanted to be part of it, so I wish I could have been there.
Well, hang tight, brother, because one of the things that we were talking about, and I was bouncing this off these guys, like I said at the start of this show, no one does this thing alone, and so I'm always looking for input from people that I trust and know. And so I was talking to the Matts there and kind of getting their opinion, and I think it kind of helped just solidify. Also, my wife told me that's a great idea, so we're going to go after this. We're going to start doing more events like this more often throughout the year. It's not just going to be a once a year where we do this, in one location and we invite people. We'll still always have the Veterans Day weekend camping there, and we'll try to offset it on the weekend. We got really lucky this year with it being the weekend right before the Monday, right? But now what we want to do is we want to do these, like maybe 3 or 4 of these throughout the year, and then we'll end with the big one at the end of the year. On top of that, Stoney, I want to come your direction. And let's do an event out there. Let's see if we can get John, to come on down and join in with that. You and John, I'm pretty sure we could convince the Burgesses to drive up. And we could bring the Missouri, Kansas connection together and do an event out there someplace where we can go camping, spend a weekend, and we'll, the key is going to be getting out in front of these things so we can get participants and then make sure we got the kayaks and the gear for them. That's the main thing. So yeah, man, there'll be more opportunities, Jim. We got some stuff in the works here. I'm having a meeting tomorrow to lock up hopefully 2 dates for us for next year that we're going to try to lock in. Should have some information that I can share later, maybe next week on the show about that. So
could meet Stoney halfway.
Just throw this out there, don't, I know we're booking 2 weekends with the CKB, but if you want to piggyback while we're in an area and we're all there on a Saturday, if we wind up camping, could we make a thing out of it? Let's say Chatfield goes off on Saturday. Could we do a veterans thing on Sunday? We're already all there. I just booked my campsite. I'm staying Sunday night anyways, just because in case it gets moved, I'm already there.
Yeah.
But feel free to join with us while we got all the group there and get as many as we can for a Sunday event or something. I don't know.
It's possible. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always a great thing to do is to tag on with other events when they got people there. But Matt, you were about to say something?
I was say we meet Stoney halfway, do Wilson or Cedar Bluff, Kansas.
Yeah.
Both awesome lakes.
Yeah.
And
Cedar Bluff's probably a little safer.
I like Cedar Bluff better personally.
Wilson gets a little crazy if the wind picks up.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
and
only been
these
to Cedar Bluff once, but I loved it. It was a super cool lake.
Yeah.
those are bucket list, type things too, where we could take some, if we brought some Colorado folks and took them that way or whatever, that's an amazing trip for them, to get a chance to get over there and see what Kansas fishing looks like, and see why it's worth jumping the border, driving a few hours and going over there to fish. Cause if you love bass fishing, no offense, Colorado, but they just, Nebraska, Kansas, it's just better fishing out there, man. And I love the fact that I threw a crankbait for 2 straight days and caught limits on 2 straight days out in Kansas. I'm like, hell yes, thank you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you
Feel
get
good.
closer to Kansas City, and we got a couple lakes that have free camping, so there'd be no expense there.
Ooh, I like that.
And,
Nice.
one of my favorite lakes is on there, which I probably won't say on here, but
Yeah.
we could set it up there, and it's got, I catch a lot of fish there and a lot of good quality fish there, and it's plenty big to get 12 or 15 people on pretty easy.
Wow.
And like I said, there used to only be like 3 campsites, and it's always been free. And now they've expanded it, and they've got a little tent area on around the corner a little bit, and they got like, I think they got 6 or 7 big RV spots, and so it'd be something that we could plan ahead and probably reserve it. I think the Fish and Game here would be more than happy if we told them what we were doing to help us make sure we had the lake for that weekend, pretty much. But
Yeah, man, that's all it takes is just getting somebody like at the helm of this thing and start getting these projects going and just putting them together, right? And so it's always a chicken and egg thing, try to balance that kind of stuff out a little bit. But for sure, and I'm not sure, Matt Dillon tuning in with us, Marty Hughes, Jennifer Muse, and Dustin Muse, Home Pond putting a whacking on them. Cool. I'm not quite sure what that is. Speaking of the Muses, they actually helped me with a Father's Day 2 years ago. We did a Father's Day deal where I took a Air Force combat vet and his family. We went over to Red Willow and we took them over there on Father's Day weekend. That was a great trip. Couldn't have done it without the Muses. They kicked in, got us some extra kayaks for the kids. They'd volunteered their time out there. And Jennifer did some great photo shooting for us for the event. So super cool. Super cool to have those kind of events. And that's really what we're, when people ask, when we say that we're going to go do these events, they're like, oh, that sounds cool. And you're right. It does sound cool, and it is cool. But more importantly, I want you to understand what we're creating there is we're creating this atmosphere, this tribal connection that gives these warfighters a chance to just unwind and reconnect. And when they get inside this circle of the angling side as well, it's another community that they've now been plugged into. And if they get the fever like we all have, dude, I mean, I've met every one of you guys I've met because of fishing, and now I call you not just fishing buddies, but I call you personal friends that I care about, considerably. And that's what we're trying to reconnect. And that's what we're trying to find for our nation's warfighters is use these trips and these outings to create that bond. That's why we get, if we got a combat vet, let's see if we can get another combat vet out there, and try to, connect like experienced pathways together so they, they have that. Otherwise, we just take them out there and let them make fun of us, and we make fun of them, and we laugh and we catch fish and we have a blast, dude. I mean, that's, and Jason talking about, man, I want y'all to come to the Ozark National Scenic. Yes. So Jason is the guy that we're going to tap into when we get this trip going. Jason is like the real live Les Stroud for us in Missouri here. Maybe even one step beyond that is Survivor Man. You guys remember that on Discovery Channel? That's yeah. Jason. Jason is part, I think, Wolverine and bear in his DNA. He pretty much, you could throw him out in the middle of nowhere with a flip flop on and a stick, and he's gonna have food and fire and shelter inside of a few minutes. And he'll also take care of the people around him with the same thing. We're going to try to, Jason and we were talking when I was down in Missouri there about wanting to try to maybe put together one of those river trips where we get some of the flints or the U10s, and from New Canoe there, we get those boats and we float these rivers and literally eat right at the side of the shore on the river, camp on the shore of these rivers. He knows these areas inside and out. And so we're going to try to put together one of those. Now that won't be probably not going to be able to do that a bunch of, 3 times a year. But if we could do a bucket list trip like that, maybe once a year where we can, coordinate something like that, because whoever comes with us there needs to be game, right? I mean, they need to be down for roughing it and getting out there. But I think that could be a lot of fun for, for some of the folks out there.
I would be floored if eco fishing wouldn't jump in on that and help.
Yeah.
As far as boats are concerned and trailers and that kind of stuff.
Yep. There we have a couple. So up in the Ozark areas, we've worked with Travis in the past. We plan to do that again up there. Bud's Baits out of Joplin has really chipped in and helped us quite a bit. They're a New Canoe dealer down there, and so we made sure we work with those guys as well. So yeah, that's again, that's the name of the game, is you work with these dealers that are willing to support the mission. They love what we do and get behind it, and so yeah, Eco was right there on top of it. That was super cool. That Ozark trip we did. When we went out there for sure. So this time of year, Stoney, what's your guys' water temps getting to out there in Kansas City?
Man, I haven't been since LOZ. No, that's a lie. I went, I fished Stockton 2 weeks later. So it's been 3 weeks since I've been on the water, but I'm guessing it's probably 60.
Jeez.
It's getting in the 40s at night, but it's been well up into the 60s during the day, so it's not cooling down real fast. We've been lucky this year. Usually it's colder than this.
52, that's what I was getting, Matt. Is that what you were getting?
I don't know. I didn't turn my electronics on.
What a jerk. What a jerk. Catches all the fish. I don't know. I didn't use electronics. I used the force. I just willed the fish bent them to my way.
My jackhammer didn't tell me what the temperature was.
Yeah, I check the wind, check the water temperature. Okay, jackhammer it is. 80 degrees, 60 water, jackhammer. 50 water, 50 air, jackhammer. I don't care.
And don't think I didn't try
Gene, 52?
52 is what I was picking up, yeah. And
that's
Bart,
pretty good for Colorado for middle of November. It could be a lot worse.
Yep. Bart confirmed. I think that's what was making it a little bit tricky, is I think there was a transition that was taking place there. I think it needs to get a little bit colder. The shatter seemed to be, there was still some bait balls running around though. There was a couple of not crazy, but they were suspended. At least that's what I was seeing out there.
Is there dead shad still floating in the water? Anybody see any of that?
I didn't see those, but the wind was so heavy.
I saw like one or two, not a lot.
There was like 4 or 5 dead trout up on the shore where we launched.
Good.
I was going to say, my exact words were, "That's a good start."
Yep. Good trout's a dead trout.
And there went our CPW endorsement, I'll tell you that.
That's right. The opinions of Jimmy Straws is not that of the TPO.
Calvin just quit the team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fired.
Yep, in protest for the trout's behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that so hopefully, man, yeah, we'll put a few of these trips together. We'll get some of those things going more than once a year. We'll still do our big one at the end of the year. We'll start promoting that thing literally. I think come springtime, we'll start getting the flyers out. That is one thing I also wanted to say again. So thankful for all the people. Lindsay Martin, if you ever hear this or see this podcast, Lindsay, thank you so very much for all of your extra work to help get our flyer around with the Parks and Rec. Mount Carmel, she helped connect us in there. They reposted and shared our flyer out, Mount Carmel Mental Health, services there. There was just so many people down in the Pueblo area that got behind this thing, helping us promote the event out there. Super, super cool to see that. They believe in what we're doing. They believe in the mission. That felt good to see that, kind of support from everybody. And so hopefully we'll try to play off of that even more and build on that for next year. And Hopefully next year we don't get some historic, literally 30-year freaking storm that comes out of nowhere. You guys didn't see any snow from that thing, did you, Stoney?
No, just don't call it a Moyak event, or you will. You'll have like a snornado or snownado or something. Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's if we schedule a tournament in April, it'll snow that weekend.
Doesn't matter which club. Both clubs have been snowed out now in April the past 2 years on their events.
We're going to break that in 2025, guys. Positive vibes. Let's turn it around. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's right.
Sorry, I got a little fired up there.
I was going to say, I'm not even going to get flashbacks that the last time I was at Chatfield in April, I literally got out of the kayak to go get feeling back in my toes because I couldn't feel my feet. So I popped my boots off and sat in my truck with the heater on, thawing out my piggies. You know, that was the last time I was at Chatfield.
Honestly, I would take that. I would take that April Chatfield tournament over the September CKFC tournament we had this year with the wake boat hell that we had to deal with. I would take the empty lake and cold over the wake boats just running us off the lake.
At least, yeah, you know, that's a hell of an argument because at least with the cold, it's just us. You know, it's still in our own hands.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, my anxiety kind of went through a higher level. I ended up, that's the first tournament that I've left early. I had no problems. I had no issues other than the fact that I could not focus on fishing and I was angry at several people that, you know, like Eric said, you know, with the white frame sunglass crowd and, you know, their choices and such. Yeah, that was just not a good one. So I told Collins, I'm good, dude. I'm just going to trailer this thing up and I'm going to head on home. 45 minutes to get home and go mow the lawn because I think that's a better use of my time right now.
I'm fishing to go mow the lawn.
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
Yeah, except those who have to fish in the metro area of Denver, Colorado. Oh, where'd Stoney go? We lost. I was just getting ready to ask him if they have any lakes out there that get heavy wreck traffic like that. We'll see if he comes back.
I bet you Lake of the Ozarks does. I'm sure.
Oh,
it's so big,
that's not Kansas. Well, I guess you could call that Kansas City area.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that's
Ozarks. Yeah, in between Memorial and Labor. Yeah, you don't get near the main lake ever, whatsoever. That's just bad. Bad.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Stoney, where'd you go? I wonder if his battery died.
Dispensary.
I bet you his battery died on his laptop. And right now he's fumbling for his phone. He knocked over his PBR, and now he's trying to clean things up. Knowing Stoney.
Where's the link? Where's the link?
Exactly.
He took a sip out of his spitter instead of his PBR.
Oh, there he is. Now he's back. Did your battery die, buddy?
Lost internet, I guess. I don't know. We got big wind. I don't know what's going on, but
we were taking guesses on what it was that disconnected. I like Flanagan's said you took a drink out of your spit can instead of your PBR can.
You got it.
Get them bubbly guts, bro.
I did that. The last couple of years I chewed. I just got it towards the end. When I first started, of course, I was spitting, and then the last couple of years I was just gutting it. It was terrible. I finally had to quit.
So I got to admit, it's kind of gross, but it's funny too. I throw pouches in, so I don't take my vape with me when I'm out on the boat. I just throw a pouch in, right? And unfortunately, as I'm sitting there fishing and it's getting good, I just lean to the side and, I spit. Well, apparently I need more hawk in my tua because I go, all the sleeves of my fishing shirts have these now brown tobacco stains on my freaking arm sleeves all the way down, and I can't wash them out. It won't come out of that stuff. So I put my sleeves on. I'm like, dang, I'm a mess, dude. That's not even right.
You got to start spitting to the right so you can balance out.
Right? Just looks like a new design. That's all on my sleeves. Well, gentlemen, It's about to be wintertime. The Rough Riders are about to kick off here. Stoney, you guys can fish pretty much 12 months, right? I mean, does your stuff freeze over?
Oh, it does, but I fish most of the year. I mean, dress for it, and I'll go out and the big lakes usually don't get hard, so you can fish if you can handle the cold. So
Do you do dry suit or do you just like ice suit?
no, I got
warm
one
up?
of those. What's the name of it? Piscifun. Is that right? Yeah. Floating suits,
Nice.
and they got like 1.5 inch foam in them. It's the warmest thing you can ever. I wear long
It's like for
underwear.
ice fishing.
Yeah, I wear long underwear. Well, it's for, if you were to fall through, yeah. I wear long underwear and sweats and that thing, and I'm usually warm. But
Nice.
sometimes my hands get cold, but yeah.
Good stuff. Do you guys have any of those power plant lakes out there where the water just stays warm enough that it can't freeze over?
Yeah, Lacine.
Like seen?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's like 20 miles from my house, 25 miles from my house.
Nice.
We have Wolf Creek also, but you can't go on it with a kayak. You have to be in a boat. It has to be 18 foot or longer.
Oh wow! Was it just because of current or?
It's a nuclear power plant, whereas the other one is not. So I fished it a couple times out of a boat, and I don't know. It's not that much better than anything. And one of my buddies, Clayton, fished Lacine the other day and said he caught more bass than he's ever caught down there. So hopefully they had a couple good years of spawn, and there's always tons of bait fish because the water stays warm so they don't die off.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good lake. In the summertime, it's not because the water's 90 friggin' degrees, and those fish are just lethargic as can be.
Right.
But
right.
But no, in the wintertime when that's always our last resort. We got a couple lakes, got a bunch of grass in them. We go hit and catch good bass throughout the winter. That in the summer times they're not that great a lake, but in the winter when it's cold and water cools down, they turn into really good lakes. But
that's awesome.
But Lacine is always the last resort, and it's not that far away. But we're lucky to have all the options we have. I got a lake 4 miles from my house that is great crappie lake, and it's got good bass in it. It just doesn't have many. It's kind of a boring lake to fish for bass. But
that sounds like all of Colorado.
Yeah.
Hey, Stoney, do you ever notice that there's a dual spawn on some of those power plant lakes that you fished around? Like fish will spawn twice. Have you seen that? I've heard a lot about that.
You'll see big schools of shad, and you'll see big schools of 1/2 inch to 1 inch shad, and big schools of 3 to 4 inch shad. So yeah, I think they do have multi spawns, and it's got a pretty good, not really a river, but it's not like a stream that dries up. It's always got water in it, and so it usually has a little bit of flow. The water's moving a little bit, and then they run it through that deal, and it comes out that overflow, so it keeps it circulating. Even when the water's really hot, you can go out there where that water comes over the spillway thing after it goes through the plant. If you just want to go out and catch fish, you can sit there and catch white bass all day. It's pretty fun.
Wow.
Nice.
Cool.
And you turn your live scope on there, and it's nothing but dots because all the bubbles in the water, so you can't. It's like worthless. But you get far enough away.
Bubbles all day.
Yeah. Oh,
fishing for bubbles.
Yeah.
They're not even chasing it, man. Yeah, Colorado, we don't have any power lakes like that because solar and wind turbines don't warm the water. So unfortunately,
2 years ago, I was so excited. I was going down in a winter tournament to fish this lake in Texas, and it was a power plant lake. And I was stoked up. And I get down there and I pre-fish, and the lake's got grass all the way to the top of the water. It's so hard to fish, and I've never punched grass before. I had to learn because that's about all you can do in that lake.
Nice.
If you get out deep enough, you can find the edge. But you're bass fishing in 40 feet of water, and the grass stops, and so yeah, awesome. You had to get on the inside of the grass because up the last couple feet next to the bank didn't have grass, and I just flipped and I broke off twice. There's some monsters in that lake, but they shut it down 2 years prior to that. I didn't realize that. So the water wasn't warm when I got there. It was not expected.
Oh, damn.
And apparently there's some big deal in Texas. They're shutting them all down. I don't.
The power plants?
Yeah, after they had all this, the grid go out, was that 6-7 years ago when the state of Texas shut down pretty much. I can't believe that was what route they took, but that was one of them they shut down, and it was a gradual deal. And one of the guys that was ramp camping with me said, yeah, over the next, I think 8 or 10 years that they're all going to be gone. And I don't understand that, if that's a feasible power, and it's clean, but
yeah, no,
I don't think they're nuclear plants. I think they're more coal plants, but
actually, and nuclear plants, from everything that I've seen, are some of the cleanest, operating deals out there. I mean, there's always the danger, right?
Yeah, the neighbors all have 3 heads and
you got
17 toes.
Well, as long as it's the neighbors, I mean,
yeah,
you got welcome to
Fukushima with 2 heads.
Welcome to Fukushima, Texas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Fukushima.
Yeah.
But just like all the other tournaments, I bet I met 10 guys down there that I'm still friends with today from a 1-day tournament.
Yep.
2.5 years ago. That and yeah, they're just great guys, and I got a message from one of them the other day. You going to come down and fish a tournament? I said, I don't know. You got any power plants still open? I just got a laughing emoji. So, but
well, yeah. Dude, we go down to Felsenthal Refuge. I had fish against Stoney several times. I knew who he was. I mean, there's only one guy named Stoney Floyd out there.
Thank God.
So, right. And knew who he was. And there was like 7 of us that went to to the championship down there. And we had decided to turn the 3-day championship into a 2-day. And then we went to Bussy Break, man. Legendary. It's only like 30 more minutes down the road. So we do this. We go fish. Well, my roomie left early, so I'm in an Airbnb with an extra spot. And Stoney wanted to go fish Bussy as well, so he comes down there. And I'm like, dude, got a bed, got a room here at this place. So he bunks with me. And it was from that time of he and I fishing together, hanging out, and quite frankly, me having sore gut from laughing so freaking hard at this restaurant that we went to. My first time meeting this guy and really, hanging out with him, I knew by the end of that trip, this is a guy that I need to know, and we need to stay close with him because I could just tell, yeah, he's freaking great. And it was just, through that love of fishing piece and that whole, can I pet that dog? I mean, oh my God. So you all seen that reel, right? From Instagram, right? Well, it was pretty old even when we went to Felsenthal Refuge, right? It had already been aged up by then by the kid, saying, can I pet that dog? We're in this podunk little barbecue joint. Our waitress is about 8 months pregnant. And she's like 12. The other 2, I think, are like 16 and 20. Are the other 2 waitresses. God, I hope they're not watching right now. They're, the other 2. Well, in the middle of this restaurant, this barbecue restaurant, is the biggest golden freaking retriever, or no, golden lab that you've ever seen. I mean, this golden lab had paws like the size of my hand, and he was about 152 years old. He was an old boy. And he would just mosey around the whole damn restaurant, right in the middle of everything. And as you're eating, he'd come right up to you, sit down, and stare at you while you're eating. And I'm like, and we're looking over at the waitress, and I'm like, I want to give him a rib or something, I mean, he's just hanging out. And he starts walking around. I pet him a little bit, and he starts walking around. Stoney, in the middle of this quiet, the waitresses are up here like folding napkins and such. Stoney in the middle, can I pet that dog? These 3 girls just lost their business, man. They busted up. The look on their face like, oh, one of the old guys knows about that video.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was hilarious. I grabbed our plates and such, and I took them up. And the waitress, she got off her little stool. She goes, "I'm on the way." I'm like, "No, you just sit down there. You take it easy. I got the dishes. We're good." Oh yeah, poor little girl. She weighed like 85 pounds herself, and I think the baby was an extra 30.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just this skinny little mini with a big old belly on her. But they were
And I tell
super
you what,
nice.
if you've not been to Bussy Break, the trip down there, 70% of the houses we passed had tarps on the roof.
Yeah.
It is the poorest country I've ever. I never felt so terrible in my life. I'm dragging a friggin' $10,000 plastic boat behind my truck, and these people don't have $5 to their name. It was awful.
Some of those areas very poverty stricken. Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
East Texas, Lake of the Pines. That was like that. That East Texas area. I was scoping out sections of the shoreline looking for like a place that I could drop in. And dude, I went back into some areas and I'm sitting here looking at these places that I swear need to be bulldozed over. And the next thing I'm seeing are like kids' toys in the front lawn.
Oh, people live there. Their lights on at night, and
they got boarded up, windows on the trailer. And it was just like, oh my Lord. This is America.
Down, you think that your life sucks or something's bad in it. Go, drive down there, boy. It'll grab you by the heart.
And super friendly folks, though. I didn't meet an unkind soul when we were there. They're very welcoming to anybody coming into town for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bussy Break was pretty awesome. Saw my first gator ever out there, about a 6-footer. And I was just like, okay, little pucker factor, but he took off. He's definitely a little more scared than I am, so that's good.
Tyler got me. I think I caught it like a 5.5, and I think he got like a 6.2 or something like that. So we had a little side bet. He took my money.
Yeah. That year, he was just on a tear. He was in a zone that year. Yeah. It was the thing that proved, I tell people this all the time because they were just like, how does a guy go out and win all those tournaments and do that, at the All-American, and they of course, they're lifting their eyes. I'm like, dude, we went to a lake that no one had prepared for. No one knew anything about. We went to a lake 30 minutes from us and just did a side bet on the side through Facebook chat. And he beat all of us that day too. He was just in a zone.
If you look at the standings for the year, for the AOI for that year, that tournament, that lake, none of us prepared. None of us having any, we didn't have any idea we were going there. I'd never even heard of it until dinner that night when we were all talking about it.
Same.
And it would have, I think the order would have been exactly the same on big fish for that day. It was a tough lake. It really was. And there was one area in the tree line that had good fish, but like the boats were all fishing different. They weren't fishing that tree line. They were fishing the grass and those lily pads and stuff, because I don't think they get pressured as much in that area. And they know that's probably where the 10-pounders that are in there are laying. And that lake was dry like 7-8 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, if you pull it up or Google Bussy Break, I'm not sure the time frame. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that, but it was empty.
Wow.
And they put these bass in there and fed them, and did they get big quick?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Alton Jones from Kistler, he always fishes there every year. They have the big, what do they call that? Knockout or big bass knockout or something like that.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. There you go. And he always catches like an 8-pounder, just a football out of there. But
yeah, it was you and Tyler were going back and forth. That was pretty fun to watch because you guys, I could see you. You guys were in eyesight of me. And it wasn't until the end of the day that I got into those lily pads and really just put a frog in my hand and kept it there and started catching fish at the end of the day. And I'm like, son of a, if I'd known that it was in play, but it was pretty breezy that day. But yeah, you had to kill the frog and let it sit in those breaks to get it to go.
And I busted off 20-pound fluoro in a, like it wasn't even, so I don't know what, I had a good one, but it took me down in a deal and it never turned. I don't think I turned that thing's head. It just popped my line. But it was fun. And he sat there and laughed at me because Tyler was like, he was like 15 feet from me. He started laughing. Yeah, that's the good thing about this. You can laugh at each other.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, listen, gentlemen, we've been rolling about an hour and 30 here, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap this bad boy up here. Stoney, Matt, I can't thank you guys enough for stopping in here and trading some stories. We really didn't get too deep into this year's what we're doing in the season, but we've got a lot more podcasts coming up that we can start getting into that. It's, I think, at least in Colorado, the transition's going on. So it's as soon as that, I think that water hits that 50 and starts dropping below that, then you can really call the winter game on, and start getting after it then. But, and I'm hoping, man, Winter Rough Riders this year, I'm looking forward to it. Dressing warm, getting down there, because I want to stay frosty, literally, and keep things rolling.
I'm toying with the idea of trying to put together a little informal Winter Rough Riders tournament just to keep us all in shape over the winter. Get down to,
oh yeah,
and
even if
Matt,
only
I know
5 or 6 of us
and-
can make it. What's that?
I said, I know you and Collins were talking about making it back out to Lake the Ozarks.
Yep.
Even if we have to pay for a place, which I got a couple buddies down there, I think we might be able to find somewhere for free. But if we couldn't, I think if we get 3 or 4 or 5 people, it'd be a pretty cheap trip. And we have to look at the weather.
I had a blast there. I want to go back for sure.
It's a fun lake because it fishes different. The whole, every part of the lake's a little bit different. And
yep.
I fished up the river one year and didn't do worth a crap, but
Yeah.
everybody talks about how it's better. And like Troy Inky always fishes way up the river, and I'm sure a lot of those other guys that are locals do because they got their spots. But yeah, it's a cool lake. You can fish different however you want, really.
We'll be back for sure. Yeah.
I too fell in love with the area, Matt. The lakes kicked my butt, but yeah, when my first introduction to the Ozarks was Lake of the Ozarks, and it's like, oh my God, yes, please, need a condo right here.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't catch any giants when I was out there, but I could tell if I had more time there, I would have got in
They're there.
Fish. Yeah, you could just
we
tell.
went to
It was it was awesome.
What was the lake in Iowa that we went to?
Okoboji.
Was that it?
Yep.
That the community, that's just like Lake of the Ozarks. Had several lakes around you could fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That place was super cool. I never even heard of it before. That's a neat place. If you ever want to take your family somewhere, you roll into town and it's pizza joints and go-karts and
it's
live, not quite as busy as Lake of the Ozarks.
Live music down on the strip, down on the little deal right in the middle of Bogie down there. Yeah, it is a great family destination, and you got
great
West,
smallmouth, great largemouth.
You got Big Spirit, you got West, East,
That's it,
Musha. I can never pronounce that name, whatever the hell it is that's down below. And there's lots a lot of different ways you can fish, and big smallmouth, big greens in there. Yeah, a lot of fun. And that's not really that far away. I want to say it's like for us, I think it's about a 9-10 hour run.
Yeah.
So it's not horrible.
No,
that's a cool place.
Yeah.
But all right, boys. Well, listen, thank you so much. Again, thank you for everything you do. Stoney, thanks for helping make this possible for us this last weekend, brother. We appreciate you.
Wish I could have been there.
And we'll get it. We'll get that figured out. Same as Straws. We'll get you in there, Straws. Having you being able to share your knowledge with some folks, I'm sure they would love that. And if we get the right guys in there, then they give you crap back just the same, which is awesome.
I love it.
Exactly. It's a ton of fun. Flanagan.
Straws can show me how to turn on my electronics and see what the water temperature is.
So you can determine which jackhammer you're going to throw.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is it jackhammer weather or buzzbait weather? What am I throwing today?
Right.
I'll get him to drop shot a buzzbait. Watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Straws, thank you so much, man, for running home there and cutting out time and joining us and co-hosting this bad boy again. Always.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And for all you folks out there, Jason, yes, thank you, man, for everything you do as well. We appreciate you guys out there in a major way. All the extra work. We're piecing this thing together, y'all. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get things flowing, and just we're gonna keep building and building until the ultimate goal is that this thing becomes something easily to be handed off. It doesn't need me behind it. It doesn't need a specific person. We want to build this into something that anybody could pick the reins up, that enjoys or loves, fishing, loves giving back, somewhere, they could pick the reins up and they could carry the mission forward. That's the goal. That's the goal. We'll get there. And of course, to get as many people on the dang water in a kayak that we can too. Let's see if we can get them hooked to spend ridiculous money on jackhammers like Matt does.
Better than Vision 110s.
That's right. That's true.
I lost one this weekend, so I was not happy about that.
What'd you snag it on?
I don't know. Probably a walleye.
Notice he didn't say a tree because there
Yeah.
not any.
That's what I was gonna say. It's Colorado. I mean, it's not like, oh no, Santa. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Look at me going for more stories here. Love the homie to death, but my goodness, he was snagalopicus the whole time. I kept having to swing the thing around and go get him unsnagged, and I'm in like. There's nothing on the bottom, right? I'm just running through this area. I'm like, I'm just going to motor up here to get us a little bit closer off this break. I'm in like 15, 20 foot of water. There's not a rock one showing up on sonar. I mean, there's just nothing there. Hey, I'm snagged again. I'm like, what the hell are you snagged on? The back of the boat? There's nothing down there. He had a skill going for sure there. Snag a claws.
Good claws. I like it. So, Stoney, if you ever thought about fishing out of a cereal bowl with nothing around it, you're welcome to come out to Colorado. You'll have a hell of a time.
Yep.
You've got no cost lodging, brother. That much is guaranteed. Somebody, I mean, I've got room here. We've got people who've got room all over the place. Yeah. You've got always a place to come out here, and yeah, we'll take you around to our crappy little fisheries all week long.
Sounds like Detroit, but the fishing was good.
Yeah, no, our fishing isn't so great.
Detroit was amazing. I want to go back so bad. St. Clair.
Oh, St. Clair, yeah. Oh, good God, yeah.
That's just a fish bowl, just a 8 foot deep all the way as far as you can see, and that was the most fun I've ever had. Those little rock bass were more. I'm gonna take it like a spinning rod and 4-pound test and a crappie jig. Just go catch those things all day.
The rock
those things
bass
are so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. All right, boys. Well, thank you very much, folks at home. Thank you for tuning in here. If you were listening to this after the fact or tuning in live, either way, we appreciate you. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button. It's a massive way to help us on YouTube to really help support the mission out there. Go check us out at truepatriotoutfitters.org. If you want more information on what our mission is, what we're doing, you can find it there. Hit me up. Let me know. Like I said, I'm still doing this. I'm going to keep this going. If you're a civilian, okay, if you're not a veteran or first responder, if you're a civilian and you can connect the TPO with a corporate donation of some kind, we're going to take you out for an entire day's kayak fishing trip on us. If you connect that through your job, through your work or whatever, as our way of saying thank you for that, we'll take you out. We'll put you out fishing with one of these goofballs here. We'll get out. We'll have a good time, and we'll get you on some fish there as a way to say thank you for helping connect us out there. So just know that still continues forward. I think that's it. I think we've paid all the bills, gentlemen.
Good talking.
It's good seeing y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, good seeing you.
As always, folks, tie lines. Be safe.